In the grand lobby of the Horizon Grand Hotel in downtown Seattle, a man named Gregory Vance stood behind the front desk, his arms crossed and his face full of judgment. He wasn't quiet or shy about what he said. His words were loud, clear, and sounded like he'd practiced them before. He looked straight at a woman standing in front of him, a black woman dressed in simple clothes, and decided she didn't belong there. He spoke so everyone in the lobby could hear, trying to embarrass her. But what he didn't know was that in just a few moments, this woman would fire him and his entire team right there in the lobby where he tried to shame her. Let's go back to how this all began. Aisha Carter walked through the shiny glass doors of the Horizon Grand Hotel all by herself. She didn't carry a fancy purse or wear expensive clothes, just a plain black t-shirt and jeans. Her sneakers were quiet as she walked across the smooth marble floor, but people noticed her. She walked up to the front desk where Gregory, a 48-year-old manager, stood with two clerks. Lauren Hayes, a 30-year-old with a tight ponytail and an even tighter smile, and Kevin Patel, a 27-year-old who looked at Aisha with narrow, suspicious eyes. None of them said hello or smiled. They just stared at her like she was trouble waiting to happen. "I have a reservation," Aisha said calmly. "Penthouse suite." The name's Carter. Gregory squinted at her like he didn't believe her. "That's a very expensive room," he said. "Are you sure you're at the right hotel?" Aisha didn't respond to his rude tone. She slid her ID and a black credit card across the counter. Gregory picked them up carefully, holding the card like it was dirty. "This looks strange," he mumbled. Lauren pressed a button on the desk, and her voice echoed through the lobby speakers. "Security, we might have someone trying to use a fake card to get into one of our best rooms." Aisha stayed calm, her face showing no anger. "I'm not here to cause problems," she said. "I just want my room." Kevin laughed. "People try this all the time," he said. "They show up with fake cards and fake names, thinking we won't check." Across the room, a woman named Sophie Lynn, a travel blogger from San Francisco, was already filming with her phone. "I'm recording this," she whispered to her friend Jacob Reed. Then louder, "This is going online. People need to see this." Jacob started a live video saying, "We're at the Horizon Grand in Seattle, and something unfair is happening right now." Elena Ruiz, a young concierge standing nearby, looked up from her desk. Her eyes met Aisha's, and something silent passed between them, maybe understanding or worry. Elena stepped forward, but Gregory stopped her with a sharp look. "She doesn't belong here," he snapped. Aisha pulled out her phone and sent a quick message. 3 blocks away, her assistant, Nia Thompson, answered right away. "It's happening," Aisha said quietly. Nia replied, "Everything's ready." Gregory held Aisha's card, flipping it over like he was waiting for it to admit it was fake. "We've seen this trick before," he said loudly. "People come in, pretend they have a booking, show a fancy card, and disappear when we check with the bank. Not today." He handed the card to Kevin. "Lock it up." Kevin took it with a grin and walked to a small cabinet behind the desk. He opened a drawer, revealing a shiny steel safe, and placed Aisha's card inside with a loud slam. "You're done here," he said, smiling. Sophie, still filming, shouted, "They just took her card." Jacob moved closer, saying, "That's stealing. That's not how hotels work." Aisha didn't move. Her voice stayed steady. "You're going to wish you hadn't done that." Years ago, when Aisha was 24, she walked into a hotel in Atlanta after a long flight. She was tired, wearing sweatpants, and had a confirmed reservation. The man at the desk looked at her and said, "You don't look like someone who'd stay here." He told her the system was down and to come back later. She slept in her car that night. The next morning, she started planning a business that would become one of the biggest hotel companies in the country. Now, standing in a lobby she owned, in a hotel under her company's name, Aisha faced the same rude judgment again. Gregory leaned forward. "Your reservation is canceled. We don't allow liars here. You're holding up real guests." Aisha didn't blink. "You mean the ones watching this right now?" she said, pointing to Sophie and Jacob, who were still recording. Other guests had stopped what they were doing. Some stared, some whispered, some looked uncomfortable. Elena's jaw tightened. Lauren stepped in. "You need to leave now," she said. Aisha met her eyes. "Are you sure?" Lauren smirked. "Absolutely, or we'll call the police." Gregory grinned. Go ahead, make a scene. It won't end well for you. Aisha didn't flinch. That's the last time you talked to me like that. Elena spoke up. She's right. I saw her name in the system this morning. Her reservation is real. Gregory turned on her. One more word, and you're fired too. Aisha pulled out her phone again. Nia, she said louder, record this moment. Save the video times. Nia's voice came through clearly. Done, everything's ready. Jacob pointed his camera at the safe. It says A. Carter, VIP. It's real. She's real. Gregory scoffed. Anyone can fake a card. People like her? Aisha cut him off. Finish that sentence. Go ahead. But Gregory stopped, noticing the crowd growing around them. Aisha stepped closer, her voice calm but strong. You just made the biggest mistake of your career, she said. Gregory smirked. You think so? Aisha stared at him. I know so. The lobby felt tense, like everyone was holding their breath. No one, not Gregory, not Lauren, not Kevin, knew who Aisha really was. But they were about to find out. Kevin held up the key to the safe like it was a prize. This card is ours now, he said loudly. Until the bank checks it, you're not getting it back. He grinned, thinking he had won. But Aisha stood still, her face calm and unreadable. Gregory leaned in again. You're wasting everyone's time, he said. Leave now, or we'll make you. Lauren, feeling bold, stepped out from behind the desk, straightened her jacket, and grabbed Aisha's arm. Let's go, she said. You're embarrassing yourself. The lobby gasped. Sophie's phone caught it all. She just grabbed her, she yelled, posting the clip online with the caption, This is happening live at Horizon Grand. Jacob's video now had over 100 people watching, with comments pouring in, shocked at what they saw. Elena stepped between Lauren and Aisha. You can't touch a guest, she said firmly. Lauren spun around. Stay out of this if you want to keep your job. But Elena didn't back down. I won't lie for you, she said to Gregory. Gregory's face turned red. She's a liar, he hissed. People like her always try to trick us. His words stung, and a few guests nearby heard them. One woman holding her phone said, I can't believe he said that. Another man leaned toward Jacob's camera. You getting this? Jacob nodded. All of it. Aisha spoke into her phone. Nia, start the audit. Record every word from now on. Nia replied, Understood. Everything's saved. Do you want Carla ready? Aisha said, Give me one more minute. Kevin shouted, loud enough for everyone to hear, You're a fraud. Go back where you came from. The lobby murmured. Elena stood next to Aisha. I've worked here 3 years, she said. Every time someone like her walks in, alone, confident, not dressed fancy, you treat them like they're wrong. A memory flashed in Aisha's mind. At 16, she stood in a hotel lobby in Charlotte, waiting for her parents. A clerk told her, This area is for guests only. She tried to explain, but the woman didn't listen. Aisha was sent outside like she was a stranger. That shame stayed with her, but it didn't break her. It made her strong. It made her build. Gregory barked at Elena, Enough! I want her out now, or security will take both of you. Lauren added, She didn't show proper ID. This is a rule break. Jacob spoke into his camera. They're trying to throw out a guest who showed her ID and card. This isn't just bad service. It's wrong. Aisha turned to Kevin. Give me my card back now. Kevin smirked. Or what? Aisha's eyes didn't move. Or you'll be locked out of the Horizon system forever. No Jawa, no references, no second chances. Lauren laughed about that. You don't speak for Horizon. But Elena spoke up. She does. Gregory snapped. You don't even know who she is. Sophie shouted, Oh, she does. We all do. Look at how calm she is. That's not someone begging. That's someone letting you make your own mistake. Aisha's voice stayed steady. Kevin, one last chance with eyes. Kevin looked unsure for the first time. Gregory tried to take control. This isn't personal, it's rules. But his words didn't work. Sophie's video was spreading, and guests were whispering. One man said, I've stayed here for years. Never again. A young woman with a suitcase asked Elena, Is she really who I think she is? Elena didn't answer, but her silence said enough. Then Elena spoke louder. This isn't the first time. I reported 3 problems last month about unfair treatment, all ignored. Gregory dismissed them. Gregory's face turned red. That's not true. Jacob swung his camera. You sure? Aisha looked around. Every phone was up, every guest watching. She spoke clearly. Your time running this place without consequences is done. Gregory tried one last time. Fine, I'll call the police myself. Aisha smiled. Please do. For a moment, Gregory paused. Something in her face, calm, strong, powerful, made him nervous. Guests started moving, standing between Aisha and the desk. They didn't know her name yet, but they knew enough. One woman rolled her suitcase to block Lauren. Another man stood by Elena. Jacob turned his camera. They're protecting her now, he said. Aisha took a step forward and said, This lobby belongs to me. The words were quiet but strong. Kevin's smirk faded. Lauren looked down. Gregory blinked. The lobby, once against her, started to change. Gregory's voice boomed again. Throw her out now! He was desperate, trying to hold on to control that was already gone. The lobby wasn't quiet anymore. Guests were speaking up, phones recording, whispers turning to protests. Gregory slammed the intercom button. Kevin's voice echoed through the speakers. Attention staff, we have an unauthorized person in the lobby. Do not engage. Fraud alert. The words hung heavy. Aisha stood firm. Sophie shouted, She's not a fraud. We're recording everything. Jacob's video now had thousands watching, with comments like, This is stealing. And how can a fancy hotel do this? A mother with her daughter stepped back, whispering, They'll regret this. Lauren, still following Gregory, grabbed Aisha's arm again. Let's go, she said sharply. Elena stepped between them. Don't touch her again, she said loudly. Lauren froze. You'll be fired, she snapped. Elena stood tall. Then fire me. But you're not touching her. Gregory yelled, Do you even know who she is? She's a liar. Look at her clothes. Aisha's voice was calm. You keep calling me a liar, but it won't erase your mistake. Years ago at 29, Aisha was at a hotel in Los Angeles for a meeting. She wore a simple suit, but the desk clerk doubted her. This card can't be yours, he said, making her wait 2 hours while others checked in easily. That night, she wrote a rule for her hotels. No judging guests by how they look. Now she faced the same problem in her own hotel. Get security, Gregory shouted at Kevin, who hesitated. Kevin's confidence was fading. He saw Aisha wasn't scared. She knew something he didn't. Sophie kept filming, capturing every moment. Jacob asked a guest, What do you see? The man replied, Someone being kicked out when she belongs here. Gregory yelled, That's not true. She hasn't proven anything. Aisha turned to the crowd. Does anyone want proof? Jacob shouted. Show them. Aisha turned to Elena. Is my name in the system? Elena nodded. Yes, A. Carter, penthouse suite, checked in online. And is it marked VIP? Aisha asked. Elena nodded again. Yes, with owner-level clearance. The lobby went quiet. Gregory stammered. That could be fake. She could have hacked it. Sophie snapped. You think she walked in, hacked your system, and brought thousands of witnesses? Lauren looked pale. Kevin spoke nervously. I locked her card in the safe because you told me to, Greg. What if we're wrong? Aisha turned to him. You were told to steal from me. You had a choice. Kevin's mouth closed. An older woman stepped forward, standing between Aisha and Lauren. You're not touching her again, she said. More guests joined, forming a circle around Aisha. Gregory looked smaller now, trapped behind the desk. Aisha spoke softly. This is what happens when people stop staying silent. Jacob turned his camera. They're standing with her, he said. Gregory shouted, You're all being tricked. But Kevin whispered into the intercom, and it echoed. She owns the place, doesn't she? The lobby froze. Sophie turned to Aisha. Do you? Elena answered, She does. A man whispered, This is her hotel. Lauren turned to Gregory, horrified. You said she was lying. Aisha stepped up to the desk. You called me a thief and tried to shame me in my own lobby. Gregory couldn't speak. Nia's voice came through Aisha's phone. Carla's ready. Should I connect her? Aisha nodded. Yes, now. Carla's voice came through sharp and clear. Aisha, everything's ready. Your call. Aisha spoke firmly. Fire Gregory Vance, Lauren Hayes, and Kevin Patel. Remove them from the Horizon system, freeze their access, and record this for legal review. Silence followed. Then Gregory's badge turned red. So did Lauren's and Kevin's. They were locked out right there in front of everyone. No yelling, no drama, just justice, quiet and final. The guests saw one truth. Aisha had taken down a broken system in minutes. Gregory's face fell apart when his badge stopped working. He stared at it, shocked, like it had turned against him. Kevin's face went pale as his badge blinked red too, locking him out of the hotel system. Lauren stood frozen, gripping the counter like it could save her job. The lobby, once controlled by them, now felt alive with change. Elena stood tall next to Aisha. They're gone, she said loudly. They don't work for Horizon anymore. Gregory shouted, This isn't fair. You can't do this. He turned to Lauren. Call the company. Get someone on the phone. But Lauren's hands shook as she checked her phone. I'm locked out, she whispered. Everything's gone. Kevin tried to reach for the safe to get Aisha's card, but Elena stopped him. Don't touch it, she said. You're not allowed to handle guest items anymore. Kevin stepped back. Gregory, angry and embarrassed, yelled at Aisha. You tricked us. You shamed us in front of everyone. We'll sue you. His voice broke, showing he knew he'd lost. Aisha stayed calm. You think leading is about hiding your actions? She said. It's about people who've been ignored finally being heard. A woman in the crowd spoke up. You ignored my complaint last year, she said. I wrote about a problem at check-in, and you dismissed it. Gregory looked away, recognizing her. Another man spoke. You charged me twice for a room and never answered me until I said I'd sue. More guests shared stories of being ignored or treated unfairly. Elena added, I reported 3 cases of unfair treatment in the last 2 months. Gregory dismissed them all. Lauren backed against the wall, scared. Greg, what's happening? She whispered. They're turning against us. Gregory's voice was weak. They're just upset. It'll pass. But it didn't. Jacob's camera showed the growing anger. This is what happens when you push too far, he said. Sophie's video was now everywhere online. People saw Kevin's announcement, Lauren grabbing Aisha's arm, and Gregory's cruel words. It's out there, Sophie said. Everyone knows. Gregory lunged toward her. Delete that. That's private. But 2 guests blocked him. No, one said. You don't get to hide this. Lauren turned to Aisha, shaking. I didn't know, she said. I didn't mean for this. Aisha looked at her. You helped make it happen. You watched. Then Gregory did something surprising. Why didn't you say who you were? He asked Aisha. You set us up. Aisha shook her head. I gave you a chance to treat me like any guest. That was the test. You failed it in front of everyone. Nia's voice came through again. Aisha, the board's ready. Carla's waiting for your next steps. Aisha nodded. Connect her. Carla's voice filled the room. Gregory, Lauren, Kevin, you're fired. Your access is gone. Legal papers are being prepared. Ms. Carter will take over. The words hit hard. Kevin protested. This is crazy. We built this place. Aisha stopped him. You built nothing. You blocked the door and pushed away the people we're supposed to serve. She turned to Elena. Open the safe. Get my card. Elena typed a code, opened the safe, and handed Aisha her card, untouched. The guests started clapping, not loud but strong, like they knew this was right. Aisha spoke to them. This wasn't just about me. It was about every guest told they didn't belong, every complaint ignored, every rule used to hurt instead of help. That stops today. Gregory, Lauren, and Kevin stood behind the desk, powerless. Aisha spoke into her phone. Nia, start the full reform, make a statement, and promote Elena to lead this hotel. Nia replied, Yes, ma'am. Aisha stepped forward, no longer a stranger. She had taken back her hotel, one choice at a time. The lobby felt different now, like the air had cleared. Aisha stood in the center, still in her simple t-shirt and jeans, but now everyone knew who she was. She faced the crowd. My name is Aisha Carter, she said. I'm the founder and CEO of Horizon Hospitality Group. I'm taking back this hotel, not just from those who did wrong, but from the excuses they used. Phones lowered, guests gasped. One whispered, She owns the whole company. Jacob's video comments exploded. CEO. This changes everything. Gregory stepped forward, desperate. This isn't right. You're the CEO. You should have followed rules. Aisha looked at him. I came in like any guest. Quiet, respectful. The only thing I didn't bring was privilege. And you showed how you treat someone who doesn't look right. Kevin shook his head. We didn't know. Aisha snapped. You didn't need to know. That's the point. Elena spoke up. I saw her name in the system. I knew who she was, but I didn't speak up right away. I'm sorry. Aisha turned to her. You did more than anyone. You told the truth. You stood up. You're now the guest services director for this hotel, starting today. Guests clapped again, not for show, but for fairness. Lauren spoke, her voice shaky. I didn't mean for this to go so far. Aisha looked at her. You had a choice, Lauren. You made it when you called security, grabbed my arm, and laughed when my card was locked away. Then Lauren broke. It was Gregory, she cried. He told us to treat certain guests differently. He said it protected the brand. Gregory shouted, That's a lie. Aisha raised her hand. It's not a lie, it's a confession. We'll record it. Carla's voice came through. We've saved her words. This goes to the legal team. A guest nodded. About time someone paid for this. Jacob spoke into his camera. She didn't just fire them, she showed everyone their mistakes. Kevin asked, What happens to us now? Aisha answered, You're fired. Your names are blocked from Horizon jobs. If we find more wrongs you hid, there'll be more consequences. Gregory stared, realizing he'd underestimated Aisha. All this to prove a point, he said. Aisha's voice was cold. All this because I'm done with people like you deciding who gets respect based on looks. Sophie shouted. They tried to push her out, and now she's changing the rules. Aisha turned to Elena. Clear the check-in system. Stop any bookings tied to Gregory's team. We'll contact affected guests and give them free stays. Elena nodded and started working. Aisha spoke to the guests. If you were treated badly here, our team will be in the lobby. We'll answer your complaints in 2 days. No fake replies, just real answers. The room buzzed with agreement. An older man tipped his hat. Thank you for not giving up. Aisha nodded. I've given up too many times. Not anymore. Carla's voice returned. News outlets are sharing the videos. You're in control. Aisha said, let them talk. Let people see what happens when a company doesn't just say sorry, it acts. She turned to Gregory, Lauren, and Kevin. You're done. Your things will be sent to you. Security will walk you out. Don't talk to any guests. Elena asked, should I call security? Aisha replied, no. Let them walk through the lobby. Let everyone see what happens when you act unfairly. As the three left, no one stopped them. No one felt sorry for them. Only the sound of accountability followed them. Aisha turned to her guests and staff, not relieved but determined. This isn't just justice, she said. It's a new start. And with that, the Horizon Grand became a place where everything changed. The lobby transformed from a place of conflict to a place of change. Guests watched, no longer just onlookers but part of something big. Aisha turned to Elena. Start the reform plan. Begin at the top. Elena nodded and shut down the old reservation system, blocking access for the fired staff. Done, she said. Aisha called Nia. Send an alert to the company. Check all guest complaints, staff actions, and hidden records for the last 18 months. Nia replied, It's happening. The media's talking, but you're leading. Guests approached Elena, some nervous but wanting to help. One woman said, Thank you. I was scared to speak earlier. Elena smiled. We're listening now. Jacob's video hit 10,000 viewers with a new title. CEO reclaims hotel, fires staff, starts reform. Sophie asked Aisha, should I keep posting? Aisha nodded. Only the truth. She spoke to the crowd. Horizon promised fairness, but promises mean nothing if bias is ignored. That changes today. She told Elena, start new staff training in 3 days. Everyone, desk clerks, concierges, managers, must learn again. No exceptions. Carla spoke again. Your reform plan is approved. We've stopped front desk bookings for now. Elena will handle VIP guests. Others get a free night at our nearby hotel. Aisha asked Elena, "Can you handle that?" Elena nodded. More than ready. Guests became helpers. One man carried bags, a couple handed out water. The lobby felt like a team now, not a battleground. Then Aisha's phone buzzed with a message from the company. She read it, her face tightening. She spoke quietly. Gregory didn't act alone. Carla's voice came through. We found records. Gregory sent fake reports to the main office. Complaints were marked fixed but never checked. He worked with a former director, Michael Turner. Aisha's voice grew sharp. Turner left 3 months ago after problems, but no one looked deeper. Nia added, he protected Gregory and Lauren. It was a pattern. Aisha closed her eyes, then opened them, clear and focused. We're not just fixing this hotel, we're checking every Horizon property. She told Jacob, show this. People need to know we're rooting out the problem. Guests nodded. One older woman whispered, I've waited years for someone to do this. Sophie said to her viewers, we came for a trip, but we saw a revolution. Aisha looked around. The lobby wasn't just marble and lights anymore. It was a symbol of what hospitality could be. This hotel wasn't broken by its looks, she said. It was broken by people trained to smile at some and question others. That ends today. And so, the rebuilding began. 3 months later, the Horizon Grand Hotel was different. The shiny floors and chandeliers were the same, but the feeling had changed. A picture of Aisha hung near the desk, not to show off but to remind everyone of accountability. A sign below it read, this space is for every guest, no exceptions. People walked in without being judged for their clothes or accents. Elena, now the permanent manager, led with kindness and fairness. Aisha's reforms spread across all 57 Horizon hotels. They checked old complaints, retrained staff, and created new rules to ensure fairness. Guests from that day got personal thank you notes from Aisha herself. You stood up when others didn't, she wrote. That matters. Sophie and Jacob spoke at a company meeting, sharing how recording the truth made a difference. We just kept our phones on, Jacob said. But the past wasn't gone. A week after the incident, a former manager from another hotel called Aisha. He admitted Gregory followed secret orders from old leaders to treat some guests as less important if they didn't look right. Aisha thanked him and sent his words to her team. It showed the problem wasn't just Gregory, it was a system that let him act that way. More employees spoke up. Horizon formed a team to rehire unfairly fired staff and settle with others. Aisha made sure every decision was tracked. Trust isn't built with words, she told her team. It's built with proof. She became known not just as a hotel owner, but as someone who changed things for good. She started Horizon Forward, a program to make sure every guest and worker was treated fairly, with real results, not just promises. At a big company meeting, Aisha spoke words that stuck with everyone. Hospitality isn't about the smile you give. It's about the respect you show from the start. The audience stood, not just for a CEO, but for a woman who refused to be pushed out and instead opened the door for everyone.